Good morning and welcome back to a new video. So with the harvest finished and behind us, I could finally turn my attention back to the outhouse, and this week I've just focused on that solely because there is rain on the horizon, believe it or not. September brought autumn and the evenings are really getting quite crispy and cool. I'm even in my winter pajamas, and last night I had to pull out an additional blanket because it was quite chilly in the room. The dogs are also starting to want to snuggle a little bit more in the evenings because it's quite cold. So with the rain coming, I've needed to focus back on the outhouse because I need to get the roof up so that it doesn't rain inside the structure. So I'm trying my very hardest, but to be quite honest, I am currently really struggling with juggling everything I need to do, from housework and keeping everything clean inside, making myself food and getting everyone fed, to making sure that all the trees have water and just looking after the farm, the animals, and of course building what I need to get built. And the last thing on that list is clients. I really need to juggle my clients at the moment because that work needs to get done. I have commitments to them, but I also need to get this kind of stuff done. And if you're going to suggest finding help to help me on the farm, I do want to say good help is really hard to find around here. Not because there's not good people and no one is willing to, it's mostly because everyone has their own stuff to do. Everyone mostly has their own farms and they are all doing stuff like this as well. So it's really difficult to find that kind of help. And to be really honest, I wanted to do this by myself as well because I wanted to learn and I wanted the experience of doing something like this. And it might not be perfect. It's very far from being perfect. In fact, I've never done anything like this before and I didn't have any kind of plans to build this. I kind of just built the structure out of my head. But I'm proud of what I've accomplished here and I'm proud of what I've put together. It will serve its purpose and that is all I want.
Hello and welcome. I'm Christine, an expat originally from South Africa. I moved to Portugal in October of 21. And I started my journey in search of my forever farm in Portugal. This is my adventure as a solo expat on a farm in Central Portugal with my two fur kids, Shakti and Shiva. I've never owned or lived on a farm, but I moved to Portugal in the hope of fulfilling a lifelong dream in finding an open space, subsistence farming, and a safer, better life. Now that we have found our farm, the second stage of our journey begins. I have to figure out farm life while renovating an agricultural structure to make it habitable and turn it into a comfortable home for me and my fur kids. Follow along our journey. This is Girl Meets Farm.
So this week on the outhouse, what I've done is I've put up the front cladding. I finished all the cladding on the sides. I put in the floor, and today, well, I started with the roof yesterday and today I'm going to finish the roof because the rains are apparently going to hit tomorrow or even this evening. So that roof needs to come up before the rains hit. Trust me, I had issues all along the way, things that I changed, things that I needed to do. After I had done all the cladding and finished the right height and made sure I had a nice 4 centimeter slope for water rundown on the roof, I then discovered and realized that I probably needed to put in an additional support structure in the middle of the structure so that the sheets have something to rest and support them. And I was umming and ahhing whether to do it or not, but eventually I did decide to just do it because get it done right first time round, and then I can always change whatever I need to change later on. So when I put the additional middle beam in, the height was no longer there. There was no longer a 4 centimeter fall from the front to the back. So then I had to heighten the front of the structure again, the top of the front side. Which basically put us out a little bit, and I may need to add some additional cladding, but my priority is to get the roof up today and maybe a door because the rain comes from this side. So let's see if we can get it done. Let's see if we can do any of this. Let's go. Love you.
The first issue I discovered when putting the tongue and groove floor together was of course that my structure is not 100% level. So I couldn't put the planks together side by side because they wouldn't actually fit in their groove. So I had to cut them all down the middle to make all the pieces fit and then do it side by side. Also, I have gaps, so I had to cut around the bigger beams and then also put in little support blocks around the corner just to brace the floor structure. But hey, look, it's working and I can stand on it. I almost forgot. I also managed to find perspex that really looks a lot like glass. This stuff was awful to work with though, and I cracked quite a few places even while drilling pilot holes and a couple of other mistakes, but I think it's quite nice. I plan to still put cladding in and around it to make it look a little bit more like a window and protect it from the weather. Also, you'd be happy to know that I finally figured out how to use my automatic screwdriver. I screwed down all the planks to make it extra secure, and then I could start on the last front cladding. Even this was not without mistakes, and two of the planks, unfortunately, I cut a little short and then had to glue the pieces back together because I was short of enough cladding planks. And as you can see, they were super thin. They were not wide enough, as wide as the other cladding planks, so I had to run off back to the woodyard and get some more. The new wood he provided me was really nice and wide and made quick work of the balance of the front wall. I added a piece of trim at the top because I thought that could look quite nice. Finally, it was time for the roof. I managed to get perspex roof sheeting. I wanted to get the transparent, but the first shop I went to only had white, so I got the white, but then later on I found the transparent at a second shop. So I thought it could be quite nice to have a see-through roof so that you could see at night or during the day, and you can see the sky and it makes it feel bigger, and I just thought it could be something nice to have. I struggled a little bit with my ladder. I thought I had bought one tall enough, but alas, I had not. I'm not trying to put a door together the way that I think a door goes together. So I'm building the door from tongue and groove, and it's going to have support beams on the side and then the zigzag beams
through the middle, kind of like the sample that I put down on the ground there. But now the tongue and groove has to match, and the problem is the tongue and groove doesn't match. So they're all different sizes, which is why I had to measure and cut them down all to the same size so that the door at least looks nice. But then also they also have different patterns. You would think that they would all be the same and in the same direction and whatnot, but they're not. So tongue and groove has a lip at the top so that they can slot in together, a lip on the side so that they can slot in together, and then at the bottom, well, okay, this is the wrong piece. At the bottom, oh gosh, this one, it should have a lip at the bottom, which means that it's a top piece that can slot into the little groove at the top. Now, as you've just seen by my example, not all of them have this little lip at the bottom, and not all of them are facing the right way either. So it's meant to be this way, and even if I turn it the right way around, okay, its lip is now sitting at the bottom, which it shouldn't be. So this one is also just incorrect. So it's a bit of a game of a puzzle and a mix and a match, and just trying to match all the pieces together that do go together. Unfortunately, the rain's just arrived. I had to make a makeshift solution quickly there so it doesn't rain inside. I was hoping to have the door up before, but I haven't finished the door. I still have to put the upper brace in, and that's the only piece of wood that I have. That's why I can't do a full Z cross, and the wood was provided short, so that's why I couldn't do full beams either. But it is what it is. I realized my mistake with the door when I tried to lift it and the sides fell apart. So I had to add additional support structures across the entire door. I tried to choose pieces that looked a little bit more designy and purposely done this way. I must still do one diagonal across, and also for the extra support that I needed running across the door to make it more sturdy, I now have to just hide the screws that came through the back end. But I can find something to put over that, I'm sure. Well, I hope. These are just glued on. I was going to screw them in as well, but they seem to be working okay. Even just glued. All the glues at least are sticking now, but these have all been screwed on the front end. So even though I made a lot of mistakes, I think we have a door. Let's see if it can go all the way up. I'm a little nervous. That was close. Quite heavy. I think it might look nice. As with everything on this outhouse build, it's been a series of luck to get it looking the way that it is, considering that I'm not using a plan. I probably should have. And this is the first door I've ever built in my life, and I've never hung a door before. I knew that was going to be super tricky. I also didn't plan for the door to sit flush within the frame, but I always knew I wanted the door on the outside of the frame. Maybe that was a bit silly of me to think that that could happen, and I'm now trying to see how I can still make that door fit on hinges. So it looks like I have to install the hinges upside down, like the other way around. Whether it's going to work or not, let's see. If I can get this door hung, even if it's not the right way, I think I'll be happy. So here we go. Let's see if we can do this. Right. Number one. This is where the issue of how skew I built it comes in. So I may need to hang the door skew as well. But also the trim that I put up at the very top is now in the way of the door. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do about that. I may need to just cut out a section here so I can hang this, and the only reason I'm not moving the hinge is because that is the only cross strut. If I hang it here, there won't be enough support for the door to hang on. So it looks like I may just need to cut a little bit of that down, and then we'll have a skew door with a skew outhouse, hence wonky outhouse, wonky loo. Not because it's wobbly, but because it's skew. I apologize in advance to any carpenters watching this video, and to anyone looking at how to make an outhouse minus instructions for how not to do it. But hey, it stands, and if it will be functional, I'm okay with that. So here goes something I probably shouldn't do, and if you watched this and went, well, you should have used screws in the planks, now is your moment to go, I told you so. But hey, here we are. We got to make the best of it, so we're just going to keep on moving forward, And I don't know if I'm doing the right thing or if I'm going to regret this later. Here we go. Good boy. Good boy. Alright. I've taken off that top trim so the door can fit closer to the beam now. I have leveraged it with a piece of wood at the bottom to try and get my angles correct on the beam. Will it work? Time will tell. Will it last a week, a day, a couple of months? Hopefully. Let me show you what I've done. So, wedge that little piecey at the bottom there, and I've brought it kind of close to the beam and readied it in at the position to hopefully fasten it. I still don't know if this is going to go all the way against the door or if that will be good enough. I don't know. We're going to try it anyway. We're just going to keep moving forward. And so, it's my little crooked door for my little crooked house, but you know what? It works. You wanna go look, my boy? Go inside. Good job. Still need to finish the trim in the middle of the windows. And next I will be starting the interior space. We're going to be putting up interior walls. I'm gonna be using the leftover insulation in the shower and possibly on the toilet side on the walls. Let's see if we can get the interior done.